Hey guys.
Check complete. Let's head over to the bar.
Yes. So we're back again with another episode of the VARBAR. My name is Andrew, aka Rapping Drew, aka you see it right there, champion select. You get me?
All right.
Obviously, I've been feeling like this since November, to be honest. But just putting it out there, just to rattle some people, just to rattle my mates over here. And I'm obviously joined by my compadres, Mace, Toast, the Gooners. How you doing, man? How you doing, guys?
We're good.
Yeah, out here, my brother, man. I'm good.
Good, yeah. Short but powerful. No long intros from you guys. Just keeping
No
it short and
monologue,
sweet.
nothing.
Not needed, man. We keep
Not
it
needed.
man.
Say less, man. Say less, man. Obviously, like and subscribe. Follow us on all socials. VARBAR Podcast, at VARBAR Podcast, whatever, on X and on Instagram. Yeah, let's dive into the shits, man, because I think there's a lot to talk about. I know that we're a day late, so we don't really got to touch on the games like that. But yeah, I just wanted to bring a group chat discussion over to the big screen. The big screen, you get me? So obviously, I think one of the huge topics this season so far, especially in the Premier League, is you either stick with your principles and your play style, i.e., and Postecoglou, i.e., Ruben Amorim, or you adapt and prosper, i.e., from what we've seen from City on Saturday. In my opinion, I don't know how you guys see it, but I saw a different City against Chelsea. Like not they didn't play the way they used to play in terms of like keeping the ball on the ground and trying to make everyone play, etc. Yeah, give me you guys 2 pence on that, because on one hand you can respect a man sticking to his principles, sticking to his core beliefs, and running wild with it, come rain, come sunshine. Even though the success on the pitch is not good, so obviously we can go back to that Southampton gaffer that got sold, Russell Martin, is that his name?
Yeah,
that got sacked. Sorry, he's one prime example of it, but he got sacked midway through the season. And then you have a couple other managers that do that as well, man. So, what do you guys respect? What are you guys 2 pence on this? Because obviously you guys support Arsenal. You've had your manager for the past 5 seasons, and for the past 5 seasons you've seen him go through a gradual change of changing his playing style. So obviously I think you guys have a good insight and good knowledge in regards to this topic.
Mace, you wanna lead off, or do you want me to go?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I will lead off. Then you can back me off. It's interesting you touched on Pep in regards to the game against Chelsea. When it wasn't working, what did he do? He tried to change things, right? And you have, for you to be successful, I think as a manager, when it isn't working, you change things, right? And you iterate, you figure out how to survive. And this idea of my way of the highway doesn't work every time. You look at look at a manager like Bielsa. It worked in the Championship, but it couldn't work in the Prem because there were reasons why it couldn't work in the Prem. I know we're going to go into this conversation, but look at Ange. His way isn't working. Yeah, I would accept at the Everton game he did try to change it a little bit, but I thought at that point it was a little bit too late because you're playing with a team there's injury hit and you don't have the players to at least deal with that change. I brought up the Arteta point last time we had this somewhere on the pod, and I said nowadays I think Arteta is playing out of trauma, especially coming from that City game where he saw that the way he was playing that expansive football when it comes to winning against big teams like City, it's difficult. You have to be a little bit pragmatic and control. And this season, what Arteta has done, and to a point to his detriment, but I don't think there are other factors that has contributed to the way we're playing. But he's focused more on the control rather than the expansive football. Perhaps you can say that is a little bit of maturity from Arteta. Perhaps you can argue that isn't maturity and he is gone back a bit. But at least for Arteta, I can tell you right now that from an Arsenal point of view, we played a certain way. I remember the second season when we were playing this expansive football, this great football. But the issue is that we weren't secured. There wasn't control there, right? There wasn't any. For me, that type of football wasn't going to win us anything. For me, what I think is currently right now for Arsenal, what we need is a balance. Clearly, we need a striker, and I think in general, as a manager, you have to find the right balance of defense and attack, of control, and also letting off the shackles and let your team play. Yeah, there has to be a control. So essentially, for you to be a good manager, for you to win, you have to find a balance. And ultimately, certain teams do find it. City found it. Liverpool are probably finding that balance. I think Liverpool are the best example because they have a good defense and have a great attack, right? So there's a balance at the way Liverpool play. The rest of the teams in the league, especially when you reference Spurs, etc., there isn't any balance. So ultimately, as a manager, you need a balance, and that's where we are. So yeah, Toast, if you have anything else to say on
that. Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like I've been pretty consistent on this topic.
Well said, Shalom, by the way.
Yeah, agreed, man. Because I know it's come up a couple of times, isn't it, man? And I've been very, very consistent on this topic, isn't it, man? I mean, if we start from maybe lesser teams like relegation teams, let's talk about maybe Burnley last season or Southampton this season, and I've always been of the belief that you should play to your system, but you should play. If you feel like you want to, there's a system and you want to play it and you want to establish yourself in a way, that's absolutely fine. But there's two things really. One, understanding the personnel that you have, if they're able to implement the system and actually are they actually capable of doing what the manager is asking. And number two, when the going gets tough, are you going to try and play through the system, or are you going to do something to your own detriment, essentially? And for me, when you're continuing to play your system to your own detriment, that's something I don't personally subscribe to in it. There's been lots of times, Burnley of last season, Southampton this season, Tottenham last season, Tottenham this season, where it gets to a point where you can't subscribe to it's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are, mate. Like, that does not exist. Like, the perfect example was it last season? Tottenham, infamous game, Tottenham, Chelsea. Tottenham, I think they had 2 players sent off, and Ange was still doing that high line in the Premier. And we all know that I think the game ended, was it 4-1? That game could have ended 10-1 with the way Chelsea were just having chance after chance after chance, and they couldn't finish their dinner. And it's the same thing here. And I said this a couple of weeks ago when the whole debate about Ange Ball initially came up a couple of weeks ago, that Ange is doing stuff that is literally having a detrimental effect on his team just out of principle. There comes a point where you have to really understand that football is not played on paper. Do you know what I mean? Like, players have autonomy to do stuff. So if you're still instructing them to play within a system, you're gonna lead to your own downfall, essentially, innit? So talking about pivoting now and talking about Arsenal, I'm like, where I stand on it is the same thing personally, that I have no issues with Arteta's structure. I have no issues with Arteta's identity. I always say, when the going gets tough, show your identity on the pitch, because when you're not sure what to do, everything that you've trained, everything that's been kind of embedded in you, fall back on those principles. But the autonomy thing still exists at the end of the day. Like, football is not played on paper. And footballers are not robots. So you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to be versatile. You have to be able to switch it up as and when. And for me, I personally think again that for Arsenal, and I've said it a few times, innit, man. Like for me, I see more as a personnel thing, innit, in terms of we're not super adaptable. We're not super versatile. We're very rigid. Like we're very predictable. And for me, that's more so a personnel thing, innit, man. But that it might just be it might be a discussion for another day, innit.
Yeah. I think I'm definitely aligned with you guys in regards to like I think the point that you made, Toast, in regards to if your set principle is not working, you have to adapt. That's why I put in our topic thing like adapt and prosper. Like in all walks of life, that applies. So I don't understand why certain managers they don't apply that in the football. And I get it. That's who we are, mate, and that's how I am. And I'm also looking at Amorim. And I know, a few weeks ago we gave Amorim a lot of praise, and we see the changes, and we see, what he's doing, and if he gets the players that he wants, then obviously we can see the vision. You know what I mean? But I think two things can be right. And I'm just talking about United, for example. Amorim has not changed a thing ever since he's come back. Now, I can understand that maybe you're using the players from the previous regime. Cool. You knew that coming in. You're changing it completely in terms of setup. Something that the players are not used to. You'll keep doubling down, and keep doing it. Nothing has improved in terms of style of play. Hasn't gone up. Results hasn't gone up. What else? I mean, those are the two things, right? And I know people are saying he just came. We're not expecting anything to change until the end of the season. For me, that's cap. And for me, I want to hold him to a higher regard to that. In regards to, at least, if another manager's coming in, why is there a term called the new manager bounce? Because the players start playing for the manager and they start gingering themselves and they start feeling it. Everything is brand new training methods, etc. We're not seeing it. I remember I saw like this training video of United where they were doing like
the rondas.
The intensity, the intensity at my team that I coach is higher than what I saw down there. You know what I mean? So it was crazy to me. It's crazy to me, to see, United and Amorim not necessarily getting flack when, the I know it's a different system, but the general play is poor. Like it's poor. And that's why, when I try to draw the comparison with United and Spurs, for example, where at Spurs, I don't necessarily the play is poor. I just think like the system and the way Ange persists with playing is not feasible for Spurs at the moment. That's what I think it is. But I don't think they necessarily play poor. I think United play poor. Under Amorim, like, I don't see no difference. You can even argue that they've probably regressed in terms of, like, general play. You know what I mean?
I think there's a system for when you see United play. There's clearly a system. I think that's the first thing you see from an Amorim type team. I think what Amorim is trying to do is play a little bit defensively and press. That's what I see. But in regards to whether they have progressed, I don't think they have. But I think it's very much player dependent. With Spurs, at least I
think that's a cop out. I think the Amorim thing is a cop out because we need to at least see that.
Yeah, let me. That's fine. I think with the only reason why I think we shouldn't really. Okay, for example, how do you legislate for bloody Onana making that bloody mistake? You can't. You can't legislate for that. But also, you can't. Like, you have a player like Martinez who's gonna leng it with his left foot and score, and he scores that goal. So essentially, what I'm trying to pull across to you is, with Spurs, I can at least give my opinion with Spurs because I've seen them play one season. I've seen them play this season. I know what Ange Board's about. I've seen them go into the transfer market for good or for bad. Usually with Spurs, it's for bad. I know they've changed personnel, etc. With Amorim, I have to give him at least a summer transfer to now decide, okay, I'm not seeing anything here. You understand? Because I know from experience, especially when Arteta came into that Arsenal team, we have like shitbags like Mustafi, etc. playing. Like, I know how difficult it is to ship players. At one point, we didn't sell Ozil. No. What I'm trying to pull across to you, just look at the big picture. You have to give Amorim time.
No, I get it. That's why I preface it with. I see the big picture. I 100% see it.
Fair enough.
But at the same time, we're living in the now, right? As well. Having a 0.02 xG against Fulham is poor.
Yeah. It is.
Even though you can argue that Fulham are better or whatever, but on paper, United should not be having 0.02 xG against Fulham.
I don't know, man. I think context needs to be applied here, man, in this situation, because I mean, he said it perfectly like 2 weeks ago, bro. Like, we're looking at probably the worst Man United team that we have ever seen. Like, and for me, I don't know, man. I don't personally think the new manager bounce works so well in United situation. And I feel as if United are a special case. They're a special case for a number of reasons. They're a huge and historic club, number one. The players that they have are all established players, but they're all players with egos. They're all players that are performing way under the levels of expectations. There's players that really shouldn't even be at the club anymore. For me, it's a whole culture shift in it that we're gonna have to see at United for us to really see any change. I can't make like we said in VARBAR group chat earlier today. For me, this season has to be a free hit because I don't see any like real immediate change happening at United like anytime soon in it. At the end of the day, and Amorim said it himself in the interview after the game that he's not used to this losing, in it. So that's already a sly shot at the players that he's come in and clearly they're still not really up to speed in terms of doing what he expects out of them.
So
and
is he not being held accountable at all? There's no responsibility on his name. Is that what you are telling me?
But the thing is, what more would you like to see at this point? Because United have exhausted the whole we're just chopping and changing managers thing. At this point, it's a case of let an actual established quality manager come in and actually
say you're Omar. So say you're the CEO, right? You're Omar, but whatever his name is, you're the CEO. You're sacking Ten Hag in November, midway, and you're bringing in a manager immediately. You're expecting something. You're expecting at least a small change.
What were you expecting from when did Amorim come in roughly?
I was not expecting United to lose this many games in the league. I was not expecting United to be where they are in the league. I was expecting a slight fortune in performance for sure, and a slight fortune in points accumulated. I
think you've been a little unfair in it, man. I don't like United personally, but they got a result at Arsenal in the FA Cup. They got a result at Anfield. They beat City as well. So we also have to kind of also contextualize that as well. There has been some.
But look at the teams that they can get up for, and look at the teams where they should get the results, where they're dropping the points. That is an Amorim thing, because if you can get your players up for these, and obviously the mentality of the players as well, I can take that.
That's it. It's the mentality, bro. Because a lot of these players still think they're a lot better than they are, bro. A lot of these players think, we're internationals, bro. Have you seen the wage structure at United, bro? It's gonna take a couple of seasons until that wage structure comes back to a sensible level, bro. You've got players on crazy money who are crap. Bro. They wouldn't get into a top 10 team in the league. Like I said, I just think United are personally a special case. I like Amorim. I think there's potential there. The results have been very higgy. Don't get me wrong. Like, you're getting slapped up against Brighton, but then you're going to Anfield, you're going to Emirates and getting positive results. But man, it's far too. It's for me. It's just far too early to
Far too early.
criticize Amorim or say that he's not being held accountable.
So, okay,
In my
so we
opinion,
can't say anything about Amorim yet.
I'm not saying you
no.
can't. I'm just saying that for me, it's just too early to make any sort of judgment personally, innit? Like,
Okay,
brother, it's not even been 6 months, bro.
I know, but it's not looking nice regardless. Ten Hag or Amorim, it's the same done. Essentially, different system, same done. But okay, so just to leave from this point then, because obviously in regards to Human's team, innit? So does adapting for a top team, that is, does adapting and prospering, does that equal not looking good on the eye on paper automatically? And I'm asking this because obviously you guys are saying that in the years gone by, Arteta has focused on defense, he's focused on solidity, but does that have to go in spite of still playing good football week in, week out for a club as Arsenal, specifically your club?
I think
Man,
it's a little bit nuanced. Sorry, let me take this. I think it's a little bit nuanced because, for example,
this is not my opinion, by the way. I'm asking questions.
No.
Shoot
I
me.
think
Toast.
you can adapt and prosper. You can adapt and prosper. And I think what Arteta did was he went for control. He went for good defense. He went to control the game. But what he didn't do annoyingly is to go into the market and get attackers, right? Because if you can control a game and you can also attack, that's a win-win. So what we have in this situation is where we control games, as you can see, right? But we can't score. We waste a lot of chances. So now we just look boring because all we rely on is our set pieces, where our most threatful attacking player is a centre back that scores the goals. Just because we didn't go out there to get attackers. But in the case of say,
but you got Gabriel Jesus. Who else? Who are your attackers? Let's say everyone fit. Gabriel Jesus, Bukayo Saka. Who else?
Kai Havertz, Martinelli.
I think he was signed as an
Trossard.
A. Martinelli, Trossard.
Yeah,
Trossard was signed. Jesus was signed. Ranieri from the academy. I mean, there's been some sort of investment into your attack with Trossard and Jesus at least.
This is Arsenal Football Club, right? It's not just some sort. We've historically had good strikers, good number 9. This is Arsenal. So really and truly, this whole we need a striker came from last season. But what was Arteta's response was, we scored how many goals, right, from the team. So why do I need a striker? And that's probably what really enforced his, okay, we will go with Havertz rather than this go Šeško. Right. So, like I said, you can control a game, but what you have to do is to get attackers to finish it off, and which Arsenal and Arteta didn't do. So to answer your question, yes, you can.
But does your style of play have to suffer because of that? That's my question.
In what sense?
Oh no, man.
Go ahead.
I want to chime in it because I actually feel as if a lot is being made about Arsenal style of play as if it's like terrorism ball. There's this. It's actually a proper nasty narrative when I deep it, bro. Like, bro, I'm just thinking back to the Liverpool game. We went toe to toe for these, man, for 90 minutes, bro. The best team in the league, bro. Scored 2 good goals. Scored 3 at Forest. Scored 5 at Sporting. Scored 5 at West Ham. Scored 5 at Palace. Scored 3 against Monaco. Scored 2 against United. Scored 3 against Brentford. Like people are making it out as if it's terrorism ball in the top half of the in the top half, bro.
Even you said a few weeks ago you don't have your joy again, bro. Even you said a few weeks ago.
But what I'm saying is,
as an Arsenal fan,
and I agree, there has been times. I'm not gonna lie, bro. There has been times where we've looked devoid of ideas, bro. Like I can and Ipswich, for instance, where we only won 1-0. Everton, where we drew 0-0. But it's all about balance at the end of the day. But the thing is, the naysayers and the narrative makers, they want to run off with the fact that Arsenal don't play good ball. Like, bro, I think we've scored like the fourth or fifth most goals in the league. Besides what, Liverpool, I think Tottenham are second, I think City are third. Then it's us. So for me personally, this narrative in it personally has to die. We actually do create, like we're a funny team in it. There's some games I hold my hands up. We don't look like we know our left from our right. But there's other games where we actually create a lot of chances. But to Mace's point, we just don't take them. In those games where we actually do create chances, a lot of the times we don't take them. So for me, it's usually one or the other. It's usually like it's an Ipswich sort of performance, or it's an Everton sort of performance, or it's a Palace, or it's a West Ham where we score 5. So for me, I just feel as if this narrative that Arsenal are terrorism ball, Arteta ball is this, and that. Don't get me wrong, I completely understand that. Like, I see Arteta as more of a defensive-minded coach. I see Arteta as the sort of guy that he's not going to try and run up the score if he doesn't need to. He's always going to try to slow the game down. People always get on to us about wasting time, whatever. Fine. But I think it's a nasty narrative, innit, man, that Arsenal don't play good football, like more often than not, because I think that's what people are trying to say. I disagree with that. I think it's actually less often than not.
And you are within your rights, my brother. You are within your rights to hold that opinion.
Yes, sir.
Nah, thank you guys for that, man. Let's move on, man, because obviously City and Chelsea played at the weekend as well. Big game. City started well. Sorry, not City. Chelsea started well, 1-0. But then afterwards, I mean, yeah, I was very disgusted with Chelsea. I can't lie. I thought Chelsea was gonna pam them. I thought Chelsea was gonna build on their momentum in that game, scoring the first goal away. City looked shaky, but they sat back. A lot of Chelsea fans are onto Maresca right now. Maresca was this second coming of Jesus at one point, and now they want his head, or they're onto him tactically.
Yeah.
But I wanted to discuss City's 2 starters that they signed. So obviously, Omar Marmoush was signed in January, and Khusanov, I think that's his name, Khusanov, first Uzbeki player, Uzbeki national team player in the Premier League. So small round of applause for him there. Obviously came from Lens. Young player, I think he's, how old is
20.
he? 18?
20.
20, sorry. 20 years old. So yeah, what did you guys make of his first, let's say 10 minutes?
Baptism of fire, bro. That
Brother.
was a baptism of fire.
Bro, he set Uzbek football, but like 50 years back, bro, in those first 10 minutes, bro. Because
we ain't even know any Uzbek players, bro.
This is what I'm saying, bro. Like you think we don't really know many Uzbeki footballers, you know what I mean, respectfully. But City signed him, like you said, and bro, like that header, like every time I look at it, I'm like, brother, like you know when you watch someone that's never played football before, like the way they manipulate the ball, the way their touch is, that header was like he's never played football before, bro, because just the whole mechanics of it, everything was just wrong. Like, and bro, and even not even just the physicality of the header, the awareness to think that this ball was gonna get it back to Edison. It was crazy, bro. Like a proper baptism of fire, man. And I was seeing a lot of Chelsea fans on Twitter being like, "We went 1-0 up. Why didn't we attack that, brother? The rest of the game, that basically should have been the tactic." And like, bro, it was staring at you right in the face. It's your Man City debut. You're 20 years old, and you make a mistake within the first 5 minutes. His head is on Pluto.
He had an early yellow as well,
brother.
Foul on Jackson.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Yeah, he is looking a bit spooky in the lights, man.
But do you guys think? Does he look like he can be solid?
Yes, that's what I was gonna go to. I think what he needs to do is he needs to clock the physicality and pace of the league. I think that definitely that's what caught him out. But I was looking at the good things. He's a good passer of the ball.
Same, yeah.
I noticed that, and usually that just shows confidence when you went in to just open up, pass the ball. That for me, I thought, okay, that's good. So if he clocks the physicality and the pace, which is hard to do, the rest should follow, to be honest. So I think you just give him time.
It was weird though, because obviously, like they said, like he didn't have no training. He doesn't speak English. Pep threw him in. John Stones was on the bench. I know John Stones just come back from injury, but you don't do that, man.
That's egregious,
Pep Guardiola, you don't do that, because he just threw. That guy looked shook. Even like nervous. After half time, he was still on. He dragged him after like 18 minutes, but yeah, that was not a good debut from him at all, but he will learn. But then on the other hand, we had Omar Marmoush. Obviously, came from Eintracht Frankfurt. Lots of clubs were after him. City paid the bread. I think people didn't want to pay the bread. They just paid the bread. We need him. We need you to join in now. Self-proclaimed Pharaoh of Egypt. He did look good. He had a goal disallowed as well. Any thoughts on him?
Yeah, man. If I'm honest, I hadn't seen too much of him at Frankfurt. Obviously, I know he's put up some serious numbers in the league. But man, he looked good, man. Yeah, like the way I saw, like, the way he was starting on the left, like drifting across the pitch, trying to pick up the ball, taking shots. He looked pretty good with both feet as well. I was impressed, man. For real, I feel like City may have stolen like a potential gem, man, innit, man. So yeah, man, it was he looked dangerous, innit, man. So it was a good debut from him, I think, for sure.
Yeah, 100. Mace?
Yeah, I agree. I'm just
Anything on Colwell?
I
know you hate Colwell.
A little birdie in my mind with Marmoush was you always have to be careful about players who have good debuts.
Why?
And I don't know. I feel like I've seen the Nicolas Pepe. I've seen the what's his name? The Russian, no, Anthony. I've seen Ukrainian. What's his name?
Murder Mudryk, innit, man?
Mudryk. You have to be very
that
careful
cameo.
with the players. Yeah,
that cameo against Liverpool gave him good PR for 6 months, man. That Donny is a whack.
Yeah, you just have to be careful. But from what I've seen, there's a lot. I think one thing I liked about Marmoush is just he loved the fight. He just wanted to get in, and that's a very good trait. He does need to bulk up, I would say. He needs to get a little bit muscly, but he'll be fine. But yeah, that was good. In regards to Colwell, someone said we have Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa. And I died.
One like Levi.
It's crazy because Chelsea have like 7 centre backs in the squad, bro, and there's only one that's like half decent, bro. Like, which is tossing in my opinion,
like, bro.
Like, Badia shit, whack. Chalobah, they don't even want him there, whack. Colwell was so highly touted, whack. Like, bro, it's not good, man. Disaster. Who?
Yeah, he's going Aston Villa.
Disassi, yeah.
Mid of the mid, man. Yeah. So it's crazy, man. They're stockpiling centre backs, bro. But none of them are good, bro. Like, yeah, man. The Chelsea thing is odd, man, because obviously I know we spoke on pod a couple months ago that why shouldn't they be in the title race? Like, but the way they were performing, but now like one win in their last 7, like really, really just struggling, man. Like, yeah, and obviously Cole Palmer, their best player, is not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he should have taken that. Shouldn't have taken that chance, Toes. The chance that he squared to.
This is how I know Nico Jackson isn't. He isn't a serious guy.
He's a Senegalese Nunez, bro. I'm telling you,
bro, because any striker that's hungry for goals just swipes it on the left foot.
Yeah, with his left.
And sees what happened, bro. Why are you trying? And the thing is, he even then tried to control it with the right foot. I didn't understand what he was doing. Like, bro. Nah, man. Yeah. And for me,
when you see Donis like that, you're just thinking, huh? You made it.
Bro, what was the thought process behind that, bro? Like, yeah, man. Nico Jackson, he's very hot and cold, man, because earlier on in the season, he was feeling himself, doing nice celebrations in front of the cameras. Donny can't buy a goal for love nor money right now, man. And he looks average, man. So, yeah, man. Chelsea are in a bad way. And if care's not taken, man, hey, man, top 4 could be very difficult for them.
Yes, sir. Bournemouth and them, man, creeping. Newcastle creeping. Yeah, it's looking crazy for them. But yeah, long may it live, man. Let's go to the Arsenal Wolves game, because obviously Arsenal, you guys played the same time as Liverpool, so we were hate watching on the side. You know what I mean? We hate watching.
Normal.
And yeah. We were talking about, obviously Arsenal playing, whatever. Again, it didn't look good. It didn't look nice. And I don't know what it is with Arsenal and lack of this, lack of that. I think the players that you still got should be able to still put out clinics against these type of teams. But to be fair, Liverpool as well went to Wolves, and that was one of our worst performances as well. Arsenal came away with a 1-0 win, but it came in dubious circumstances. Obviously, Miles Lewis Kelly, got an early red card. And a lot was said about that. A lot changed. I know Arsenal fans, Arteta, they saw like
Mace.
when I saw that red, I was like, yeah, okay. Now you guys got something to complain about because some of the previous shit, shut the fuck up.
This guy,
But
man.
this one, I completely disagree.
Brother.
Hold on. I completely agreed. This was I came into the chat immediately, Shalom. Disgraceful.
Yeah.
Like there's no agenda to be had here. Go on, Toast.
Yeah.
For me, innit, like I'm just exhausted with the whole situation with decisions and Arsenal because the thing is, Mace, when we talk, innit, we're conspiracy theorists. When we talk, we're tinfoil hat merchants, innit? Like, but we're now the rest of the world is now seeing the stupidity that we've been seeing a lot of the season because there's been a lot of decisions this season. Like for me, innit, I just want consistency. If it happens to my team, I want it to see it to happen to everyone. Or I don't want to see it happen at all. I don't want to see it happen at all.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
I said that's never
It's
happened.
never happened.
And that's my issue because the same Chris Kavanagh that said, "Oh, it's the letter of the law. It's the letter of the law." I have to send off Declan Rice against Brighton, or the game is in disrepute. We'll see Szoboslai 2 or 3 weeks later at Anfield do the exact same thing, and the letter of the law don't matter no more.
By the way, just to cut you off on that point, yeah, is that done now? That if players kick the ball away, no yellow? Because I've seen hella.
Andy, this is my problem. This is
that done?
This is my
all right.
issue,
Cool. Jokes. I would deal with it. Let me just because I've got a lot of things typed up for this, right? So I think what Michael Oliver accomplished was a crazy feat because you don't see rival fans, pundits, Jesus Christ, all happen to agree on a referee decision. When was the last time you seen that? Like everyone come together and say, yeah, that wasn't correct. Michael Oliver,
Luis Diaz, Liverpool. Spurs.
Okay, Luis Diaz as well, Diaz as well. Oliver managed to accomplish that. So very quickly, let me get everyone's thoughts on the red card. I know you've said it. I'm Drew and Toast. What was your opinion on the red card? Was it a red or not?
No, can't be.
It's not a red card in any dimension, bro. In any.
Okay.
Love.
Perfect. So listening to this and going through all of what happened Saturday, Sunday, the aftermath and all, it got me thinking about like unconscious versus conscious bias, especially with refs, more in particular Mike Oliver. And I was thinking about like things like his decisions against Arsenal. So remember last year the City game, the Kovacic game. This first yellow card should have been a red card, right? The second yellow card should have been the second tackle should have been a second yellow card, a sending off. He didn't give it. And then after that game, Howard Webb came out and said he didn't want to negatively impact the game. Oliver didn't want to negatively impact the game. Okay, that's fine. I guess thunder or lightning can strike twice because was it 2 seasons ago at Wolves where the same referee gave Martinelli 2 yellow cards in the space of 7 seconds.
Oh man, that's just the cherry on top for me, man. That one, bro. Like honestly, Michael,
7 seconds.
You have to,
and then obviously
man.
what?
You have to laugh.
Okay,
go off, again, Mace. Go off, Mace.
And no, and also what happened with Miles Lewis Kelly? That's Wolves. Okay, and this is what I'm talking about: unconscious versus conscious bias. Other teams, as a Liverpool fan, was it last season the Doku tackle on McAllister?
Yeah.
Doku kicking the ball this season against Arsenal, delaying restart. The point you made. Okay.
I think he kicked it towards. We already touched on that, but
and we'll be touching
I
that,
saw
but
the
by
vision
that
there.
point-
I saw the vision there.
Yeah, at that point, it was really ref so tightly, right? There wasn't any slack,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah,
to
true.
Arsenal, right?
True.
I think the last season or the season after, City v Chelsea, Grealish handles the ball, nothing, right? And then just to cap it all off, Oliver's given fewer yellow cards and no red cards to City in his career against City. So tell me, from the examples I've given, do you reckon that's unconscious or conscious bias? Because I think everyone has unconscious bias. No one is perfect. But the examples I've given, I wholly believe that Oliver has conscious bias against other teams and not against City.
They pay him in it, them man.
Okay, I didn't want to touch on that. The fact that he was flown to UAE to ref a game, paid 20 grand.
For me, even that kind of annoys me. Not even so much the fact that he went to Qatar, you get your bag, you do whatever you like, innit, man. But it's the fact that they've flown you out, you come back now to ref a match. And I don't know if you think that you have superstar status in this football thing, man. But for me, the way, and there's been referees historically in the past, like what's that brother's name? Graham Poll. There's been Uriah Rennie. There's been Dons in the past who, for me, they just have too much personality to be a ref, man. I find them that Donny with the
what's that ball Donny go? The one that recently retired. I hated him, the skinny one. He's now chiefs of the PGM.
Oh yes, Michael. No.
Mike Riley.
What's his
name? Is that his name?
No, not Mike Riley. No. It's what's his name? He was at Sky as well. He's on Sky right now.
Yeah.
Oh, McDermott.
No.
Gallagher. Wait, who?
No, not Mike Riley. Nah, he's so annoying, bro.
Yeah.
He's on.
He's on Sky Sports now.
Mike Dean.
Mike Dean.
Mike Dean is another.
He was another one. Man. Another crook.
Mike Dean. It's so bad. Even Mike Dean agreed. Mike Dean agreed that's a red card.
Like,
you know how bad.
I don't know, man. I personally just feel like Michael Oliver thinks he's a celebrity, bro. He's getting flown out to Qatar. He's supposedly the best English referee, so he's doing all the Champions League games. He's doing the Euros. He's doing the World Cups. And man, Donny's refereeing like he's never ref before in his life, bro. Like just making boneheaded decisions. And then on top of that, because he's the most respected referee, the most egregious thing probably wasn't even him sending Miles Kelly off. The most egregious thing, in my opinion, was the VAR doubling down on the fact that it's a red card.
Yeah,
this is the problem in it. Like they always say that when there's an issue, it comes from top down, not bottom up. And because Michael Oliver is the standard, these people are thinking, well, if Michael Oliver sent him off, it's got to be a red. Use your fucking common sense, bro. It's never a red in a million years. And so for me, it's just like, what the hell are we doing with VAR? We cannot come to the correct decision that is not a red card. Like, come on.
You know what was even funnier? Yeah, like the Sunday football lads, the pundits on Sky Sports, defending
Oliver,
Michael Oliver, especially like Jamie Carragher. I know Jamie Carragher does not believe a word of what he said. Not a single word.
Balanced argument things, isn't it?
Apparently, the reason why they do that is like they have a meeting once a month, Sky and PGMO, and apparently in that meeting, it's like, okay, boys, you have to no bad
backers, yeah.
Backers.
Which makes sense. Now, from a business point of view, not to put the game in disrepute, it makes sense.
What is to be gained from the pundits who are talking to millions, lying or being a bit disingenuous about what they're seeing on the pitch? Like, for me,
they have to defend their own.
PGMO?
They have to defend their own.
I guess the argument is the Premier League is a package. So if you are disreputing the ref, it makes the ref look bad. Therefore, it makes the Prem look bad. But that's just bad for me. That's just bad.
Bro, why do I care if the ref looks bad? If the ref is doing a bad job, the ref is putting it on himself.
He is putting on himself. On that point, just on the Arsenal bit, and this is why I won't even talk about Toes. I'll speak to you, Drew, about it. I think the PGMOL has it against Arsenal, especially Arteta, and I'll tell you why. You remember that Disgracia situation where they tried to ban Arteta, and then Arteta bust case
against Newcastle, right?
Against Newcastle,
yeah.
And I think following the fact they lost that case, they've decided to basically go against Arteta, go against Arsenal. That's why it clocked to me. I think when you look at a body of ref, for example, what's his name? Arsblog. Shout out Arsblog. He said,
is that the American?
Howard Webb? No. He's the British or Irish actually. Howard Webb is an ex-copper, and as such, he runs PGMOL as like a police force. So when you go against one of us, you go against all of us type mentality. And he used that, I guess, that narrative. And I thought that makes sense. And when I think about the Newcastle PG situation, it's starting to make more sense, because
the thing is,
I hear you. Alternative. Go ahead. Yeah.
No. To be honest, I hear you. And, however you guys are feeling, it's somewhat valid, because for us, we felt the exact same way last year. And a lot of people, exactly. But just last season in general, these decisions that Arsenal are getting, we were getting egregious ones last season as well. I think the only difference is Liverpool were collecting points regardless of that. But you remember, like, Jurgen Klopp was always in the press conferences talking, and people were at Jurgen Klopp like he's this, he's that. He's always complaining. He's always that. You know what I mean? But this was my point to Tabs in the group chat as well. People only care when it's like your team. You don't necessarily want to step out and be objective and look at it from a bigger picture, unless it's also happened to you, right? Of experience it, exactly. So, agenda aside, I definitely see where you guys are coming from. I definitely I hear it. If you guys feel that way, I hear it. But however, I must say, not all the decisions that you might have received this season have been egregious. This one, for damn sure, 100%. And I also want to say, like, obviously, people threatening Michael Oliver and all that, that goes too far as well, to be honest. Like, I get it. Football's life and death. It's our livelihood. It's almost a religion. We live and breathe it. But we don't have to, find this address.
I'm very interested about that, because except people have Mike Oliver's number and his family's number, how are they threatening him? He's not on social media.
No, I think that's they found his address. I think that's where it was, and his family.
Okay, I was going to say
that's what they're saying.
On social media. So
are you saying that statement from the PGML is fake as well? Is that what you're screaming?
No, I'm not saying it's fake. I'm saying that there is I'm sure someone has probably threatened his family, and this football fans are mad. But a part of me is also, this is also a PR stunt, because everyone is agreeing that what he did is mad, right?
Yeah,
it takes a lot for someone to threaten a referee's family. It takes a lot. Like,
I think the whole governing body, everyone, should thank Califiori for scoring that goal, because I think if Arsenal did not win that game, it would have been worse. It would have been worse.
Genuinely, bro. Like,
Mace,
you made a good point about this whole PGMO situation about them being almost run like a police force, bro. Because we know historically that police forces are basically like a gang, bro. They just do whatever they like and they take no accountability, bro. It's actually the perfect analogy, really. So this whole the threats have been made against his life, man. You're just deflecting. I've not heard a sorry. I've not heard a sorry that, this was not a red. Like, bro, they double down and try and justify nonsense, bro. And then when the VAR comes out, bro, they look like idiots, bro. Like, honestly, like I said, you talk about it, and then you're a conspiracy theorist. So this is why I don't like talking about refs. Genuinely.
Since you're here, I got 2 points on VAR. So 2 things really quickly. I think VAR should be handled 2 differently. In regards to VAR, this is my first point. This is more about the referees. We can talk about this later on. I think we need to open the criteria for other referees outside England to join, just to make it competitive. And secondly, if the number one isn't going to be implemented, I think number two has to be. They need to move VAR to another country. So referees in other countries do VAR for England, and England does VAR for like Spain, Italy, whatever. I think that's the only way. No bias.
Yeah.
Man, I would love to see them maybe do something where maybe they import 50% of non-English referees, man, and to see if there's any difference, bro. Bring your referees from some referees from Spain, or maybe even send the English referees out on loan, man. I don't know, man, because the standard of refereeing is at an all-time low. And bro,
go on, FIFA, find some Indians,
brother. Anything at this point, man. Anything at this point, because I just feel as if the English referees are just too close to the game, bro. So they can't maybe, and I'm not saying anyone's cheating. I would never say anyone's cheating, but maybe they have some unconscious bias, like we're seeing. Like, bro, how the hell, as a professional, can I ever see David Coote come out and make a dumb statement like that, bro, on camera, bro? Like, bro, you're an English referee and you're talking nonsense about who was he talking on? Liverpool.
Klopp.
Like, bro, you know how idiotic that was, and for me, that just makes me think. At the end of the day, you man grew up in they grew up in England, innit? So the majority of them probably have some sort of allegiance to some club somewhere in England, bro. Whether or not they will come out and say this is the club I support or this is the club I grew up supporting. If you're a referee, you enjoy the game of football. If you enjoy the game of football, there's a very good chance you probably have an affiliation, and that bias is gonna come out in some ways. And again, like I said, I'm not saying anyone's cheating. I'm just saying that maybe this unconscious bias is playing a factor, and this is why we're seeing such bad refereeing performances.
Yeah, 100, man. Well said. We'll look to see what will happen. Has there any decision been made yet on Skelly officially? I know it's going to be rescinded, but it's not been official yet, right?
No, actually, they haven't made an appeal yet. I heard from.
I don't think there's going to be an appeal. They should just chalk it off.
No, they're not. This is the thing. I think.
So it needs to go through an appeal.
Yeah, because remember with the whole Bruno Fernandes one, they just came out the next day and said, "Okay, we raise our hands up. It's not red, whatever." They haven't done that. So yeah, Arsenal apparently are going to send an appeal to the PGMOL, and if that's denied, then they're probably going to further appeal that. I don't know how the process works, but they haven't. PGMOL hasn't rescinded.
No, they have to appeal to FA because they're upholding the ban. So that's where the appeal goes to.
I think the PGMO can rescind the red card.
Okay.
Can't they? Yeah, because that's what they did with Bruno. They can rescind it before. If they don't rescind it, you appeal.
But they haven't done it yet, is what you're saying. Because Bruno happened instantly, I remember.
Yeah, they haven't done it. They haven't rescinded it. So they're doubling down as usual.
Yeah, I mean, there was contact, but yeah, never a straight red at least. Because that Joao Gomez, is that his name? Joao Gomez. That was a straight red.
Dangerous tackle was.
And they gave a yellow for that.
Yellow.
And that basically proves Arsenal's point.
Yeah, 100.
Like, bro, what are you watching? Like, what game are you reffing? Like, bro.
If Oliver gets that as a red card, that probably makes saves him, but he doesn't. He gives a second yellow, and that just proves our point.
Just gets worse and worse.
Crazy.
Man. Yeah,
gets worse.
Yeah, it's a stay tuned thing, man. Let's see what happens. Let's move on to the Champions League then. Obviously, we're gonna reach the final group match stage of the Champions League. If you don't know already, obviously it's a league stage right now. Everyone is put in one league. Everyone plays different teams, etc. It's restarted again last week, and Wednesday every single team is gonna play. So there's gonna be like a conference of teams playing. But the funny thing about this is, and I think this is how they planned it, almost everyone has something to play for, which makes this shit really, 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 really good. I think Arsenal, you've done just about enough to secure a top 8 finish, but a lot has to happen for you guys to drop into that 9th place.
Agenda merchants were saying that we wouldn't finish in the top 8 earlier on in the year, but The less I said, the better.
and
Man.
Well
we're
done, man.
99.6% confirmed to finish top 8, basically.
Right.
So,
I mean, so
but them
you might win with like
agenda merchants.
six dubs, 1 draw and 1 loss. Who's your last game against? Against
Girona.
Girona, right?
Yeah,
Girona away. Yeah, that should be a dub. I think Liverpool and Barcelona gonna play for the first top spot. Even though I don't think it's that important, but Barcelona got who's Barcelona got? I know we got PSV away. They got Atalanta at home. So I think it's 2 tricky games. I'm intrigued to see how Liverpool will play. Knowing Arne Slot, he'll probably bang out a first team squad. But let's see.
You don't want to finish first, you know.
Yeah, I know, because we might meet PSG,
Might be
City.
PSG
I know.
or like Madrid.
Them
and
ties
City.
are looking kind of
It's long.
spooky. I can't lie.
Yeah. So
man.
I don't know, man. But you don't know what they're gonna do. They might win their games and go up in it. So we don't know, man. But all in all, man, what I want to say is, man, get your access in order, load up your betting accounts. You get me? Because we're gonna feast.
Generational wealth hackers, boy. I'm looking forward to it, man.
100%, man. Is there anything else we need to discuss before we head over to the bar, man? I feel like so much has happened last week. This weekend alone, even. Mbappe hat-trick. First hat-trick for Real Madrid. First hat-trick for Real Madrid. I wanted to shout that out as well because, you know, a lot was said about his start for Madrid. And, you know, I was one of the ones. I was like, let him cook, man. It's still new. Still needs to get used to his players. I think he came out in an interview saying as well, like, I came into Real Madrid and I was immediately humbled. These men have won everything. I know I'm Mbappe, but I need to start from scratch, basically. And that's the mentality you have to have, man. And yeah, he's doing it right. He's currently got 22 goals, all competitions so far, which is good.
Yep.
It's more than most.
15 goals, 2 assists in 19 games, man. I mean, there's no crisis here, man. So I think people need to just take time, man. This is Kylian, man.
They need to take time, man. And obviously, this is Real Madrid as well. This is where they start cooking as well. So they're just woken up in it. So yeah, shout out Kylian, man. Let's head over to the bar, man. Any shots?
Yeah, I got 2.
To who, man?
1. So my first shot goes to Declan Rice. Actually, I got 3. Actually, I got Declan first, and playing with 10 man against 11-man Wolves, bro. He showed us like the Declan we're missing. The way he covered the ground, it felt like we were playing the same personnel, 11 man, just the way he covered the ground. It was crazy. So my shot goes to him. That was a monster performance. Second shot goes to Thomas Partey. We rarely give him a shot in this pod for some obvious undisclosed reasons, but it goes to him as well.
For classified reasons. The FBI classified files.
30. Nah, the way they're running that on Twitter is crazy, man.
Yeah, similar to Rice, he did the same thing as well. And my last shot goes to Ricardo Califiori. That was a finish and a half. I don't think even Mouch Lewis Skelly attempts to make that, to take that to even shoot. And
was Havertz offside for that goal? Was he in the line of the goalkeeper?
No,
I thought he was.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't. Okay.
He wasn't. And yeah, that was a great finish, and that's the quality he has.
see people watching my games with a watchful eye. You know? I didn't even see that, bro. So I don't know how you come to that conclusion, bro.
I'm trying to find things in every armor, bro.
The thing is, this guy is funny, man, because I ain't got a shot, but this Andy is watching every single game and he's under the guise of hate watch, bro. But I know he's still nervous, bro. He's saying Champions League. There's nothing to be nervous about, bro. The league's won, like said. So why are you watching our games? I don't get it.
Can I not watch? I need to watch, bro. Can I not watch?
Hey man,
What
have
the
at it,
hell?
my bro.
You're
Enjoy,
our
man.
closest.
Enjoy.
You're our closest. Know what I mean? I need to
Then
watch, man.
okay, then show us our respect. Then if we're either in a title race or we're not, bro. You can't have it both ways. innit?
Have I not shown you? Have I not shown you respect? What?
Not really,
what the
man.
hell?
Not
Brother,
really.
last
You can't-
pod he
you can't-
was
we're in
chatting
January,
about
man. You
us
can't be
not
doing
being in the title race.
Bro.
Exactly.
You're not, man, but you're there, innit?
Wait.
You're there. We need to knock you out. Have I got any shots? I want to give a shot to Szoboslai, man, because I think he is really changing the narrative around him. I think in his first couple of games when he signed for Liverpool last season, really, really good. He got injured, and since then he kind of like regressed in terms of like what we known him for, like an all-action midfielder, shoot on sight, creative. We haven't seen that from Szoboslai for a very long time, and I think for the past couple of games, he's bringing that side of him back. And I think obviously Arne Slot making that point clear to him that, you know, he needs to contribute more with goals and assists. He does everything well, like runs a lot, recycles a lot, but you're good enough to, you know, affect the other end of the pitch, and we're seeing that a lot as well. And obviously the goal against the goal that he scored against Ipswich, with his left foot, brilliant goal. Where normally he probably would have passed it, or normally he would have, I don't know what he would have done. He just took the onus on himself, man. So I just need to see more of that from him, man. So yeah, shout out Dominik Szoboslai for that one, man. And we have reached our zenith. Which one?
Codename Sky, man.
Oh, Coutinho. Soon come, man, because people are onto me about him. They're trying to pull up messages and videos even about me hating on Coutinho. But don't worry. Let him cook a bit more, then I'll concede defeat in it. But for now, he's doing what he's supposed to do, man. Shout out him, man. Yeah, man. We've reached the end. We've reached the end of the episode. Thank you very much for joining us, Mace, Toast. Again, like, subscribe, follow us on VARBAR Podcast, everywhere else. Share as well. Watch as well. Comment on the socials as well. We need that. My name is Andrew, aka Rapping Drew, and we are the VBP boys, and we out. Peace.
In a bit.